Monica Wright is 22 years old and a single mother of 2 daughters. As she expects her 3rd child, a son, her partner is in jail.
I thought minimum wage was, you know what I'm saying, supposed to be enough for you to take care of yourself and your kids. But it's not. It's only enough for you. Half the time you can't even, pay for your apartment.
For a while, Monica worked 2 jobs in retail. But when her employers asked her to work in the evenings and no one was there to watch her kids, she was forced to resign. With no money and soon to be kicked out of her apartment, she says running out of food happens often.
It feels kind of bad not being able to have food for your kids, you know what I'm saying, when you need it. Because you have to put other needs first, like you have to put needs about paying bills and all that stuff.
According to a recent study by UNICEF, the United States has the 2nd highest child poverty rate among 35 industrialized countries, second only to Romania.
We think of the United States as the land of opportunity. We think of the United States as the place to come to give your children the chance that they may not have in other countries, but there are many other countries that are far less rich than the United States, where children are actually less likely to be poor.
That means that 1 out of every 5 children in the United States, one of the richest countries in the world, is right now living in poverty.
That's 14.7 million children who are dealing with poverty, dealing every day, day in, day out, with maybe not having enough to eat, not being sure where they're going to sleep, seeing their parents struggle with multiple jobs to be able to put food on the table. These are things that have lifelong consequences on children.
Children in families like Monica's.
I always buy a lot of fish because fish go a long way. I buy chicken because chicken go a long way. You know what I'm saying? Because I never know when I'm not going to have nothing.
In the United States, despite increases in the cost of living, the federal minimum wage has remained stagnant at $7.25 an hour since 2007. So schools and daycare centers have begun to compensate for what many parents are simply no longer able to provide.
So schools are giving children food to ensure that they're eating over the weekend. Oftentimes the only meals that children will eat are the meals that they can get at school, breakfast and lunch. And they go home and there's nothing to eat.
My youngest daughter, she doesn't really understand that food thing. It don't really bother her. But my oldest daughter, telling her, I just told her that we had to go to Granddad's house because there's no food in here. She say, "But Mommy, why is no food in here?" And I say, "Because Mommy don't got no money."
These are the sort of stressful experiences that for young children can have a lasting physical and mental impact.
Those are the years when the brain is developing, when children are developing their cognitive abilities, their reasoning abilities, their emotional ability to control their emotions, the ability to think things through. And when you are experiencing adversity in those early years, that kind of stress turns toxic.
But for Monica, all she can think of is the basics.
All I need money for is for an apartment, food, clothing for my kids, and we good.
While current levels of child poverty were caused in part by the recession, income inequality and scarce benefits for low-wage families have also played a role.
If you are born into a community where you are more likely to face discrimination, where you have fewer resources, where your parents have a harder time, it's just not fair. I mean, it offends the fundamental bedrock of this country.
Livable wages and a safety net comparable to that of other Western democracies, the bare necessities of working-class families in the United States. Going without is a cost that children living in one of the richest countries in the world can no longer afford.